Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I seen the story yesterday, and you guys have been sending it to me en masse all throughout the night. So this will be my first video of the day. And by the way, happy Monday to everybody that's out there. And this story right here is out of Pennsylvania. I don't know exactly where it's at, but I do know. This man right here, 26-year-old Bernard Polite, is behind bars with no bond in Allegheny County Jail. And what he did was crazy. But I don't think he's crazy. And we'll get to that in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, if you hadn't heard the news or heard about this story, period, walked into a church while a pastor was giving a sermon, walked right up to the front, put a gun in his face, aimed for his head, pulled the trigger, and the gun jammed. Now, I'm not really religious. You know what I'm saying? I believe in, some type of higher power. But I mean, luck was on this guy's side. Some people say divine intervention. I'm not in a position to say whether it was or wasn't. But the guy's alive, and he's thankful to this day. Take a look at this story. And we'll come back and talk about it, because this right here is crazy.
First on 4, terrifying moments inside of a local church during Sunday services. A man walks up to the pastor with a gun and allegedly pulls the trigger. Thankfully, that gun apparently jammed, and the man was then tackled to the ground. You're watching all that unfold on your screen. And now on your screen, we're getting our first look at the suspect, 26-year-old Bernard Polite. Adding to the investigation, police say a body was found in his home. Here's Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Ava Rash with all the details.
A man is now in custody after police say he tried to shoot a pastor in the middle of the sermon, and just hours later, a body was found in that suspect's home.
And God had chose.
Chilling moments caught on Jesus Dwelling Place Church's live stream yesterday as a gunman walks right up to Pastor Glenn Germany, pulls out a gun, and tries to shoot him. By some miracle, the gun jammed.
I'm thankful to God that I'm still here, because he definitely pulled the trigger.
They had a male come in and confront the pastor with a firearm. Patrons currently have the male held down and the firearm away from him.
Clarence McAllister, the church deacon and cameraman, had just enough time to jump into action, taking down the suspect.
I'm just grateful that, God seen it, that nobody got hurt, especially when the guy had the gun pointed directly at his head.
Police identified the gunman as Bernard Polite from North Braddock. According to the criminal complaint, Polite told investigators God told him to shoot Pastor Germany, and he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind. That's when the story takes a turn. Just hours later, around 8, the Eastern Regional Valley Police Department was called to the 500 block of Stokes Avenue for a man shot. According to the medical examiner, Derek Polite, who neighbors say is related to Bernard, was found dead inside the home. Investigators say Bernard also lived in that home.
Never nothing bad. Nothing bad has ever happened in that home. Never. No domestic violence, no fights, no argument that we know of, that we could ever have heard, or we would have heard it.
Neighbors were shocked at the turn of events, none of it making any sense. Benjamin Jordan, who lives right next door, says the two were always nice and there were never issues.
I hope it ain't Bernard. That's all. I just hope it ain't him that did that, because he was just such a nice guy, and also Derek.
And while neighbors have a lot of questions, at this point, no charges have been filed against Bernard in connection to Derek's death.
Bernard didn't seem like that type of guy, but the evidence is looking at him. I mean, it looked like it's him, but I don't know. I can't really say. I'm just hoping and praying it wasn't.
And Polite was denied bond. He's now at the Allegheny County Jail. For now, reporting in North Braddock, Ava Rash, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
All right, guys. That's the story of Mr. Bernard Polite, 26 years old, dumbass. I'm keeping it real. This is my thing. This guy is not crazy, in my opinion. He said God told him to do that. Okay. I don't believe that. That's a normal thing people do to try to play mental illness or explain their actions, no matter how ludicrous the action was. But then he turned around and said this, and it negated everything he said and went right to what he did. Said he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind. So they found the body of somebody in his house prior to him going to do that. Think about it. Prior to him going to do that. So somebody was already dead, and that's not saying he's held accountable for that, but it's going to be hard not to convince people that he might be fitting the charges of what happened in his home. You won't want to go to jail to clear your mind. Okay, that right there, what you did in the house, if you did do that, is enough to get you locked up. See, this is my thing. A lot of people have a problem dealing with the game of life. Sometimes people are in positions and they feel like they'll never get out of it. He could have went in that church and got some divine inspiration, or heard something from the pastor that could have helped him fix the situation, rather than going there. And because he's fed up with life, he wants to go and take somebody else out of the game that wants to be here. That shit is coward stuff to me. It is. And it's just the way I think. I try to think on a rational level. You never know what's going through somebody's head. And what's scary about that and every other situation, when you walk outside your door, you never know when somebody has feelings like that. And they'll make you a sacrificial lamb because they have dissatisfaction in their own personal self and they don't want to die alone. Think about that. If you wanted to go to jail, you could have walked in the bank and took that gun and pointed it and just clicked it. That'd have locked you up. You could have broke a window. If you wanted to clear your mind, you could have broke a storefront window and waited till the cops came. You'd have did 3 to 6 months caught up in the system, maybe more. They'd have gave you an OR release and you would have had more than enough time to clear your mind. There's different ways of escaping reality. Some people use drugs. Some people do other things. But to want to sacrifice somebody else that don't have nothing to do with the problems that's going on with you, you the problem. Think about that. Another thing I'm going to point to y'all. And I'm going to shout him out. I don't know his name, but I'm going to shout the brother out that ran up there and grabbed that man. How many men you seen run up there and grab that guy? Think about that. How many men did you see run up there and grab that man after he tried to shoot him, after the gun clicked that first time and the pastor ran and fell on the ground? Not a lot of men are built like that no more. That man did everything you seen that man do, risking his life and stuff. It wasn't even about liking the pastor or doing the right thing. You know what it was about? Respect. He respected that man, and that's what made him get up and risk his life to make sure no harm came to him. We don't have a lot of men out here like that that'll do that no more. Now, granted, the organist is an old guy, and he's seen as the guy was running up there, he was getting up. From his position, he was a target as well. So a lot of people, probably younger people that don't understand stuff, oh, the old man was scared. He just stood there. It's a little bit different. But he did get up and do something. But the younger guy grabbed him. And you can tell if he was really crazy and God told him to do that, he would have been hell-bent on shooting that gun and getting away from the guy. Once the guy grabbed him, he was very passive and went down. Did you notice that? Because for a second, I was like, that looked fake. But then again, I don't see nobody sacrificing themselves to go to jail like that. So let's get that out the way. But either way, the gun jam, the man is alive. There's another interview where he's crying on camera. Because you got to remember, when the adrenaline comes down off of something that's very shocking like that, a lot of times your nerves will get the best of you and you'll realize, I shouldn't be here. And this should have never came about. It's a good thing this man is alive. I talk about the demons of winning. On this day, God was the victor. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This guy doing, what he's entitled to do. Talk about God to people that want to hear it. Nobody should come in there with a negative mindset and disrupt that. Religion is what a lot of people rely on. Whether you agree with it or I agree with it or anything like that, it's still a place and time, in time that this is a necessity for some people. Because I'm going to tell you something. If a lot of religion wasn't out here, a lot of people that bash religion, a lot of religion wasn't out here, there'd be no law and order. And it'd be way worse than it is right now. Everybody believes in something. And it's messed up that this guy went and did that at 26 years old. Why God talk to you, but he ain't talk to nobody else? Why would God tell you to go kill somebody else in a church with a bunch of witnesses that would cause a bunch of trauma and PTSD? Makes no sense. I'm out.